Hi everybody, bienvenida a mi podcast, Talking Out My. Burro y yo, muy feliz por su tiempo con los dos. I'm very happy that you're able to give both of us, Donkey and I, some of your time. We really do appreciate it. Now, he's going to probably have a tad of an attitude with me. I, again, am going to free flow. I'm not pulling squat out of him because my head's preparing for my upcoming vacation, and I've got some things I'd love to discuss with you about Dominican Republic. And I do have people, that have asked these kind of questions, so I just thought I'd give you whatever educated answer or not that I have for you. So we're going to let him have a break once again, and I'm going to fill your ear. Well, hoy yo quiero hablar por transportes. Yes, today I am going to talk about transportation in the Dominican Republic. Para mí me gusta y muy barata. Aquí, transporte muy cara por todo. In the Dominican Republic, I find that transportation there is very reasonably priced. So let me just start with, yes, of course, you can rent any vehicle car-wise you would love, from a luxury to a regular vehicle to a hoopty, I would say a respectable price that you could expect to pay would be $35 to $50 per day plus your gasoline. Gasoline is a little pricey, but us as Canadians, we're kind of used to that. So, yes, driving is a huge option there. If you can afford the vehicle, if you can afford the gas, you're more than welcome to drive. I personally, the way Dominicans drive, the, laws of the road are not what we're used to. Your larger cities, your chaotic places like with us, Toronto. Oh my gosh, everybody, Toronto, how crazy the traffic. It's congested. It's back to back. Agreed. And they have the same thing in many parts of the Dominican Republic, especial Santo Domingo. Que peligroso. Demasiado tráfico. Demasiado. But it's a little different there. The laws are a little different, and you have the bikes going in and out, and it's a whole new world. And I don't drive here, but I'm sure the hell aware I wouldn't drive there either. So, and people that I do know that drive, they drive Dominican. That's all I can say. You have to adapt to your surroundings to survive. So, entonces, primera, si es posible por rentar un carro o concho. So yes, you can coche, disculpe, you can rent a car, so a carro, muy posible. Si tú quieres por eso, no me, not me. Yes, they have buses, obviously, especially for the longer journeys. I'm trying to think, it may have been 250 pesos. I had gone from Sosua on the Caribe Express bus, which was not far from me at all. And I believe it was 250 pesos, and I had to transfer to a couple different little buses, but I got to Santiago with no problem. It was about, due to traffic, I want to say in total and waiting for transfers, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. The buses there, me gusta. They're better than our old Greyhounds, which we here no longer have. The buses there are double decker. You're either sitting at the top or the bottom. They are air conditioned. They have laminate flooring, seats that recline, phone chargers, where you can plug your stuff in and charge. And película. ¿Sí? Ujú. Es posible cuando en un bus por mira un película. Yes, they have movies that play in the buses. So yes, of course they're in Spanish, but you get the pleasure of relaxing in air conditioning, putting your feet up, charging your phone, and watching a movie. So, you know, you can't beat that. And there are other bus lines as well. And those are generally taken for your longer trips because they have access and room for su maleta, your luggage. So, and it's comfortable because you are traveling quite a distance. And of course, there's taxis. Excuse me. Generally, they're private taxi drivers. Like I have a regular driver who picks me up at the airport, returns me when I have to leave. If I have gone long distance, and he has assisted me in that as well because I was unsure of where I was going, things like that. Um, so yes, you can get personalized taxi drivers. Most of them can speak some English, you know what I mean? But it's very personalized. They are fantastic. I remember the driver I use, Jose. Um, he had taken myself and a friend to Puerto Plata. We spent the entire day. It was $80 round trip. Plus, of course, we tip because he's well worth it, and that's what we do. But for $80, he took us to every and any site within Puerto Plata without any rush, without any being on top of us. So it was a beautiful day, had something to eat. It was absolutely amazing. And for that price, you know, you can't beat it. So I normally pay, and I believe the going rate for me to get picked up at the Puerto Plata airport to go to Sosua, where it's about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe not even. I'm going to lean more towards 15. And again, depending on traffic, distance from the airport to where I stay, that's $25 American, because again, we're always talking in American funds. So it's $25 each way. But again, you know, you have somebody you know, he is a friend of mine. He is always there on time. I always book way ahead when I know I'm coming back. He's professional. Um, I adore him. So, me gusta mi chauffeur por mi taxi privado. Es muy bueno. Es muy bueno. And of course, there are Ubers. If you're an Uber kind of person, I'm not. I'm not an app kind of person. I don't like prepaying for things. But yes, Uber is available as well. Now, the two others that I'm going to discuss are two of my favorites, and muy barato, más económico, you know, and más local. This is how most Dominican people travel. So one is called what they call a guagua. And I hope I'm not trashing it when I'm saying it. A guagua is like a mini bus or a van type of thing. I've always thought they were cute because they usually have these little curtains, you know, on the little windows, van-like or bus-like type seating. They will cram as many people as possible, as many people um, in them. So sometimes there's extra seats that flip out. You will have not room for this is why long distance isn't good. It's not like they have space for luggage, things like that. I've known where before when I did have luggage and I was traveling, taking that, I had to pay an extra seat, so to speak, for my luggage because it was taking up the room. I've been on them with chickens and babies and but it's an amazing experience. And depending on the distance, you're looking at 50 pesos, 75 pesos, things like that. but you really get to know your neighbor, so to speak, when you're on these. And I love doing that. As well, they have the cars, same thing like the public taxis. And so they make, a stop to a stop type. They go a certain distance, some then pick up from there. You'll switch over to go further, things like that. Again, 50, 75 pesos. Um, you will sometimes have 8 people on top of each other in a 5-seater car, but it is what it is. You just, like I said, love your neighbor and get used to it. It's very economical. It is the way that things are done there, and at the price of taxis and things here now, I would love nothing more than to be able to ride share in a public taxi. Now, my favorite, last but not least, it is, yes, what most accidents are involving, but it's the moto concho. Moto. I can tell you that I've never felt freer, sometimes never felt more feared for my life, but generally never felt freer and more content than when I am on the back of one of those. So it is a motorcycle that individuals come, they pick you up, take you wherever. You'll be amazed at how many people can fit on one. You'll be amazed at what they can move with one. And again, the rate is dependent on the distance, daytime, nighttime, how many people, things like that. But, again, if you're being treated like a local or a tourist, but you can expect an average of, again, it's a hard quote, but 50 pesos to 200 pesos, depending on the time of day and where you're going and how many people. I have been on them, five of us. I have been on them with myself holding 2 children, small children, 4 and 2, and their pregnant mother behind me. Um, it's amazing. I can remember the very first time that I got on them, and it's not like you're given a helmet. The drivers are supposed to wear helmets. I've seen them get tickets for not, but it's not always common that they do. If you have your beer with you and you want to get on, that's also not a problem. I have had luggage, groceries. Yeah, you'd be amazed what you can fit on somebody's bike. And they drive like they own the road. They basically have the right of way. But it is a freeing, beautiful experience, and I absolutely love it. The first time I ever got on one was when I was in Punta Cana, and it was actually a friend of mine who had a bike. So same, I just wasn't paying for the ride. But you're literally cutting across roads and dipping in ditches and going. And I remember squeezing him so hard, I think I almost made his head pop off. But all he kept saying is just relax. And it's not like the girl hasn't been on a bike or two in her day. I just had to go back to that, right? I just had to get on and live life. And that's what I do. I mean, you're not going to get on with the drunk driver. You're not going to get on, just like you wouldn't get in a car with a drunk driver. It's all common sense again. And Dios controla todo. See? But yes, I am a moto kind of gal. Love it. Um, it's just a wonderful way of life. It's economical, gets you from A to Z. And like I said, I have seen on these things washing machines being moved, and we're talking on motos, like motorcycles, piping. I've even seen a cow being transported on one. So anything is possible in Republic Dominicana. See? Oh, yeah. Todo es posible, Ali. Todo. And but yes, I will let you know that it's all up to you in your comfort zone and your pocket. If you want to go there and you want to take private drivers or car taxis, like private, perfect, good for you. For me, that adds up a little too much. I walk most places and I am on the motos. Otherwise, it is a rarity that I'm even, if I'm in a Wagwa because I'm going up to Puerto Plata, or maybe I'm on the bus if I'm going up to see my friend in Santiago. Um, but yeah, I roll with the flow. I just try to live every moment to its fullest and the way the locals live it. And it is more economical and freeing. So today, this was what I wanted to throw out. I know this one's getting a little irritated because he thinks I'm trying to butt him out of the show, which I'm not. But as I said, these were questions that were brought up to me from people because they know I go all the time. And since I'm going next, in about 6 weeks, I'm just all vibed up Dominicana. Yo tienes mucho flow Dominicana al mi cuerpo porque pronto me voy. And I can't wait. So I would like to thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this little topic about transportation in the DR, or transportes. And once again, Donkey and I, regardless whether he had input in it or not, would like to thank you for being a part of this podcast and give me a little bit of your time, your energy, and your ear, and for allowing me to talk out my. And we'll see you next time on the next podcast. Take care, everybody. Be blessed. Adios por ahora. Hablar más luego.